This is the parabolic setup we've waited for. XRP, HBAR, XLM, SUI are waking up. We told you July wasn't going to be quiet. We told you it would be the ignition point. And now, it's happening right in front of your eyes. XRP, HBAR, XLM, SUI. They're not just waking up. They're surging, exploding, going vertical. And here's the wild part. This isn't even the final phase. This is just the first major impulse. The charts are screaming. The volume is surging. The trend lines? Obliterated. Resistance levels that held for months? Broken in a matter of hours. We are officially in the early stages of a parabolic phase that could reshape portfolios, rewrite narratives, and make or break the cycle. Let's talk numbers. Let's talk reality. HBAR, up over 60% in days. That's not a bounce. That's an awakening. ALGO, up 60% with volume up over 550%. That's smart money moving, not retail FOMO. XLM over 100% gains and still climbing. You don't double in a week unless something serious is brewing. XRP, pushing past 30%, on the brink of reclaiming key highs not seen since January. And when it breaks through, it's going to move fast. This is not just another green candle. This is a message to the market. Alt season is not coming. It's here. And if you're still waiting for confirmation, consider this it. The numbers don't lie. We're seeing 15%, 20%, 30% gains across the board in a single day. This is across tokens with actual use cases. Utility is back in focus, and the coins leading this rally aren't the hype plays from last cycle. They're the infrastructure layer of the next one. This is the rotation we've been preparing for. The moment where capital starts flowing from Bitcoin into real altcoin projects that have been building in silence while the market forgot about them. And make no mistake, if you're still waiting for a pullback, you might end up watching from the sidelines as these coins launch into orbit. Because this time, it's not just about narratives, it's about positioning. The ones that survived the last bear market, XRP, HBAR, XLM, SUI, aren't just surviving anymore. They're leading. Look at the on-chain data. Look at the trading volumes. Look at the percentage gains. Everything points to one thing. The parabolic wave has started, and it's already washing over the coins that were built to last. Now here's the kicker. Bitcoin dominance is still sitting above 64%. That means we haven't even really entered full-blown alt season yet. So if this is the start, imagine what happens when that dominance finally collapses and liquidity rushes into alts with full force. What we're seeing right now is a calculated rotation. The kind of early mover momentum that front-runs the next wave. It's smart money positioning ahead of the crowd. And when the crowd shows up, it won't be slow. It'll be violent. Sudden, euphoric. That's why today's video matters more than ever. Because in this breakdown, we're not just going to tell you what's happening, we're going to show you why. Why XRP, HBAR, XLM, and SUI are front-running the market. Why volume is exploding. Why Ethereum flipping Bitcoin in strength is the ultimate trigger. And how Bitcoin's dominance collapse will open the floodgates for the biggest altcoin run since 2021. This isn't a drill. This is the setup that only comes around once every cycle, and if you're watching this video right now, you're early. Still early. But that window is closing fast. So, before we dive into the charts, before we dig into the volume metrics, and before we lay out the altcoin roadmap that could reshape everything, we need to ask you for one thing. Subscribe to Be Crypto Smart. This is where real research meets real-time momentum. No hype, no recycled narratives. Just sharp analysis, clean fundamentals, and the kind of insight that doesn't come from chasing trends. It comes from understanding them. Because that's what this channel is all about. Decoding what actually matters, highlighting what most people miss, and getting you ahead of the curve before the headlines catch up. The parabolic setup we've been waiting for is unfolding right now. It's not coming in a few months. It's already here. Let's break this wide open. We're not in pre-pump territory anymore. That phase is done. We're now inside the first vertical impulse, the moment smart money stops watching and starts deploying. And when you look at the numbers, it's clear this market has shifted gears. Let's break it down by the data, the behavior, and the bigger signal that everyone else is sleeping on. Altcoin price surges. The breakout has started. Here's where we stand right now across the board. HBAR is up over 53% in just 7 days, reclaiming the 24-cent zone with strength. This is a token that's been consolidating under resistance for months, and it's now exploded upward on the kind of volume we haven't seen since early 2024. XLM has gone full vertical, up over 100% in 1 week, breaking into the 47-cent zone. That's a price level we haven't seen since the 2021 bull run. It's not drifting, it's surging. SUI has clocked in more than 77% gains over the last 90 days and is among the fastest-growing layer ones in the altcoin market. And what's key here isn't just price. It's breakout timing aligned with Bitcoin dominance weakening. ALGO is up over 60% this week, catching smart capital rotation as its infrastructure narrative gets rediscovered. This isn't a pump and dump, this is institutional swing buildup. XDC has surged nearly 30%, and the trading volume has gone up over 120%, indicating renewed demand in enterprise tokenization rails. XRP, despite the legal headwinds, has still jumped close to 30%, and while volume has temporarily cooled from its peak, price strength remains resilient above critical support levels. Now let's make something very clear. These gains are not random. They're not driven by influencers on Twitter or retail hype chasing candles. This is rotation behavior. This is what smart money accumulation looks like in real time, moving from BTC into infrastructure layer altcoins before the masses even notice. Trading volume is confirming the breakout. You can't fake volume. Price without volume is noise. But when price and volume spike in sync, that's conviction. That's institutional buying. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. BAR's 24-hour trading volume exploded past $1.3 billion, up over 250% from its average baseline. That kind of volume doesn't come from noise traders. That's coordinated allocation. XLM saw over $2.1 billion in 24-hour volume, with Korean exchanges lighting up, and more than a 65% surge in one session. When volume flows that heavily into a project with deep TradFi roots like Stellar, you pay attention. ALGO's volume surged over 550%, showing clear signs of new capital cycling back into early-cycle altcoins with real infrastructure narratives. XDC and SUI both showed volume spikes exceeding 60% to 120%, backing the recent price jumps with pure market confirmation. When you combine explosive price action with surging trading volume and technical breakouts across the board, what you're seeing is a setup for macro continuation. This isn't just the start of a bull move. This is the ignition of an alt-season engine. Infrastructure-backed altcoins are leading. What do HBAR, XLM, XRP, ALGO, XDC, and SUI all have in common? They're not dog coins. They're not low-cap meme coins that pump 1,000% overnight and disappear by the next halving. These are infrastructure-level assets with real-world adoption, regulatory visibility, and enterprise-grade use cases. XRP is powering global settlement rails. HBAR is the base layer for tokenized ESG systems and enterprise-grade DLT platforms. XLM is plugged into regulated payment flows, USDC rails, and cross-border FX corridors. XDC is moving forward with real-world trade finance pilots. SUI is unlocking scalability with move-based smart contracts. ALGO is still among the few networks recognized for compliant tokenization. This is the rotation from hype to utility, and it's unfolding right in front of our eyes. The market isn't gambling anymore. It's preparing, positioning, and the coins leading the charge? They're the ones with foundational roles in the next financial layer. Bitcoin dominance still signals more to come. Now here's the part that gets ignored. Bitcoin dominance is still hovering above 64%. That's important. Why? Because this kind of breakout behavior, double-digit weekly surges across utility altcoins, usually happens when BTC dominance is falling, not holding. So if we're already seeing 30%, 60%, 100% weekly moves now, while Bitcoin dominance is still dominant, just imagine what happens when it breaks down. When BTC dominance starts to lose its grip, and capital rotates fully into alts, the exponential phase begins. Right now, this move is the trailer. The alt-season explosion? That's the feature presentation, and it hasn't even started yet. Fear and greed shows opportunity, not euphoria. The crypto fear and greed index is floating around 70. We're in greed, but not yet extreme greed. That matters, because in past cycles, alt-season doesn't end at 70. It's just warming up. We often see fear and greed spike into the 90s before real blow-off tops occur. So this current market setup is a signal, not a warning. The real euphoria hasn't hit yet. That means the opportunity is still alive. Patterns aligning. This is the first leg. Everything we're seeing right now aligns with what we've studied for years in crypto cycles. Bitcoin hits macro resistance, $121.23K. Ethereum shows relative strength, breaking over $3,000. Altcoin infrastructure plays explode. Volume confirms capital rotation. Dominance remains high but weakens slowly. This is the classic phase 2 ignition of the bull cycle. It's where seasoned traders and long-term investors take positions, not chase tops. Let's put this into simple language. The price action is parabolic. The volume is legit. The assets leading are not hype coins, but foundational crypto projects with long-term relevance. And the real alt-season fire hasn't even begun, because Bitcoin still holds the rotation crown. What comes next? If you're still waiting on a perfect entry, you might already be watching it disappear in real time. These verticals don't warn you. They break out fast, consolidate briefly, and then go again. But here's what matters now. We're still early in the move. Dominance is high, which means full rotation is still ahead. These aren't speculative tokens. These are real networks with massive upcoming catalysts. From here, we're going to break down each chart: XRP, HBAR, XLM, ALGO, SUI, and XDC. We'll analyze resistance zones, timing setups, and volume structures to show you exactly where the smart entries are without guessing. But for now, remember this: when the rest of the market sees what's happening, they'll chase. They'll get emotional. And they'll miss the early setup you're seeing right now. Don't be that trader. This is the beginning of something far bigger, and if Bitcoin dominance falls like history suggests, it's only a matter of time before we enter the real exponential zone. Let's keep going. XRP, XLM, HBAR, SUI, breaking down the leaders. Let's break it down coin by coin. XRP. XRP is the sleeping giant brushing against January resistance. Volume hit $15 billion recently and is consolidating around $7.69 billion. A bullish reset. Price is just shy of breaking January highs. Once cleared, we're looking at a direct shot to $3.84, XRP's all-time high from CoinMarketCap. Beyond that, it's open skies. XLM. XLM is exploding, up over 100% in a week. Cleared major weekly resistance, and we've had candle body confirmation. It's retesting January highs. Break those, and next stop is November highs at 63.1 cents. After that, multi-year resistance is gone. We enter price discovery mode. The last time XLM did this, it ran to 90 cents. Now, with Soraban, Palago Labs, and cross-border rails in play, could go further. HBAR has re-established a higher high. It broke May's highs and confirmed trend breakout on the 3-day chart. Volume is surging. The bullish structure is now back in play. The Hedera narrative, carbon credit infrastructure, FedNow access via drop, real-time payments, is now gaining attention again. SUI. SUI is one of the stealth leaders. It's quietly breaking out of a weekly wedge and now retesting the upper trend line. Price action shows clean structure. With momentum, $4.30 is the next short-term target before we re-challenge the trend line for a massive breakout. This one's getting overlooked, but whales aren't missing it. These aren't just coins pumping. These are networks turning on. Ethereum is the altcoin season timer, and it just flipped the switch. ETH is outperforming Bitcoin. That's historically the strongest sign that altcoins are next. ETH broke $3,000 and is pushing toward the $3,400 resistance zone. This chart is a war zone of previous rejections, but now ETH is marching through it. Once we clear $3,400, the next real resistance is $4,100, cycle highs. Break that and it's game over. All-time highs come into focus. But here's the real signal. ETH dominance rising while Bitcoin dominance stalls is the core driver of rotation. When ETH breaks into new all-time highs, alts explode. This is the pivot point in every single previous cycle. So, if you've been waiting for altcoin confirmation, this is it. Bitcoin dominance is sitting at 64.4%. It just broke its 3-day trend. We're seeing a clear rejection off that dominance resistance. This chart is lining up with what we've seen in 2017 and 2021. BTC dominance peaks right before alts explode. What's next? A slow grind down in BTC dominance, which means money floods into alts like XRP, XLM, HBAR, and SUI. Even with Bitcoin close to its next leg up, targeting $120,000 to $150,000, alts are starting to front-run the move. That's new. This isn't the alt season where Bitcoin blasts past $200,000 first. This time, alts are launching in tandem, and some are even leading. Expect a violent wave 3 on Bitcoin up to $132,000, followed by a short cooldown, and then a final wave 5 to $150,000. During that entire journey, alts will go vertical, especially once BTC dominance hits freefall. So how do you play this? Don't chase pumps, wait for shallow pullbacks. They'll come and they'll be short-lived. FOMO entries lead to panic exits. Set targets. Use limit orders. Look for confirmed trends. Focus on charts that have already broken structure. XRP, HBAR, XLM, SUI. These have volume, structure, and clear upside targets. Understand macro resistance. Know where the next rejection zones are. XRP, $3 to $3.84. XLM, 63.1 cents, all-time high. ETH, $3,400, $4,100. BTC, $120,000, $150,000. Take profits. As the market enters euphoria, take off some profits. Keep a moonbag for the blow-off top. Reinvest during fear. That's the winning cycle. Stay emotionally detached. The price action will get fast and aggressive. Don't let greed override your strategy. Smart money rotates early and exits early. Remember, this is the parabolic setup. And it's just beginning. We're watching it unfold in real time. Ethereum is confirming phase 2. Bitcoin is targeting $120,000 plus. Alts are breaking out one by one. Trading volumes are exploding. Momentum is rotating. HBAR, XRP, XLM, SUI, these aren't random pumps. These are calculated rotations into utility-driven assets. The infrastructure layer is coming alive. This is not the time to sleep on the market. This is the time to stay focused. Subscribe to Be Crypto Smart right now because in this phase of the cycle, alpha is everything. The next few months will define portfolios for the next few years. We'll be here breaking it down day by day. Don't just hold bags. Understand why you're holding them. This was Be Crypto Smart. Stay sharp. Stay smart. Let's ride this wave.